Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm just going to give a quick introduction before we press continue, as I think there's a little recap before we actually start the chapter. So last time we left off, we'd just been arrested, which I would imagine we'll find out why shortly. I'd just like to say thank you everyone who's been watching the previous parts and anyone that, enjoys the series, and let's get into it.
How many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet. Monsieur de Richet, I am arresting you for the murder of Elizabeth Adams.
I must say, I do rather like their little recaps before every episode. For those who aren't aware, when the game initially came out, it was kind of like a Telltale game in that it released in 5 parts, I believe. And each part, was staggered in its release as they finished development. So the recaps are, this is a nice way to catch you up, even if you are playing them back to back. So, what do we want? Do we want diversion, conviction? We can't get those yet. So we can add 1 to diversion or 1 to conviction. Well, let's go with conviction. Oh, we can actually do 2. Oh, we can do both of them. Oh, well, that was an easy choice. It's like the Sistine Chapel.
At last we meet, Monsieur de Richet. Do you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. But an act of horrific violence occurred during the night, and I do not know if this is linked to the disappearance of Sarah.
What are you getting at? What act of violence?
We found Elizabeth Adams' body in her room. She was brutally murdered, stabbed several times. I'll get straight to the point, Louis. According to the initial elements at my disposal, you were the last person to see her alive.
Yes, last night we, Do you suspect me?
I want you to tell me everything that happened last night and leave nothing out. Tell me, how did the evening begin?
So if you remember the last episode, she actually kicked me out of her room because I refused to drink with her. And the reason I refused to drink with her was because I suspected there was something more than just a little bit of alcohol in the drink. So I guess it's possible that she just, I don't know. Well, I guess we don't know if she had any drugs or anything in her room, but I guess it's possible that she just OD'd. How the evening? Oh, I don't want to reveal to him that we spent the night with the Duchess. But basically, I'm trying to roleplay this, and I want to roleplay as, why would I don't want to give him any information that I don't need to give, and if he knows I'm close to the Duchess, he might use that against me. So. No, we just got this. We just got diversion as well, so I wasn't wrong. I was going to bed.
I was going up to my room when I saw Elizabeth waiting for me. She was very upset, and her words didn't make sense. I thought it best to follow her to her room, as she had asked me to.
Continue.
She insisted we have a drink, without which she refused to confide anything.
What exactly did she want to speak about?
She claimed she saw my mother the previous evening on the cliff, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. I will send someone as soon as possible. But do go on.
I refused to go on drinking with her. She already seemed drunk and her conversation became confused. So then she ordered me to get out. If only I'd stayed.
Don't blame yourself, Louis. How could you have known? But thank you for this new information.
Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference. But the case cannot remain unaddressed. I must reassure my guests, and justice will be done. And for that to happen, I must ask for your help.
Why is that?
You met Elizabeth. My guest is the murderer. I want to know who is responsible for this. And I trust you. You have my backing. You must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Of course. How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you could start by going to the scene of the crime. Elizabeth was attacked in her room.
Can you tell me anything else about what happened?
Now, Louis, I wouldn't want to influence you. Get over there and form your own opinion.
Well, if he doesn't want to influence us, there's no point us asking if there's any suspects. He'll just give us the same answer.
Right. I'll get over there immediately.
Thank you, Louis. Now, once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting. And Louis, you've got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They've all been notified and they agree.
So, as I said in my first episode of this playthrough, I have actually played this through once before, and in my opinion, the second chapter is probably the weakest. So I'll probably speed through it a little bit. But the reason for that is because, from a story point of view, if we're a suspect in this murder, why on earth would he then want us to investigate it? In my first playthrough, it kind of made sense because my character was a detective. So you could roleplay as, oh, well, I'm a detective in real life, so he wants me to investigate. But the only reason we've been given here right now is that it's because he trusts us. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I will say there is an actual reason as to why, which you find out later on. But even then, alright, so we're actually really low on buffs. As you can see, we've got 1 energy. We can't even cure our affliction, so let's just go around and see what we can find. Ah, here we go. So we can use this to cure our... There we go. Oh, what's in here?
Which 4-letter word could open this chest?
A 4-letter word? Okay, we'll have to... We'll have to think about that. A 4-letter word that Mortimer would use. I must say, it's a bit of a brief introduction, considering this is the first time we've met Mortimer. Like, he hasn't even discussed with us the fact that our mother's gone missing. You think Louis would be like, yo, I need some answers. Some servants. Oh, so his servants have black masks rather than white. Okay, don't mind me, Mortimer. I'm just nicking all your books. So if I had to guess, these paintings probably symbolise how Mortimer sees himself. And so looking at these, I would guess he sees himself as a conqueror. You got a painting there of a conquest, a painting there of a conquest. The main one is like a... Was that like a folklore cupid or a demon on a woman's chest? I wonder what that's meant. I don't know what that's meant to symbolise. Maybe his love life? I don't know. Right, should we go talk to Cardinal Piaggi? We need to think of all the suspects that could have killed, was it Elizabeth or Adams?
Devil's Thorn.
We'll just say Lady Adams. So, I think we can probably rule out Piaggi if we're being honest.
Dante's Purgatory. Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the...
Alright, looks like we've got all the extras in here. Let's go talk to Cardinal Piaggi. Maybe we can get some information out of him.
Your Eminence, I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble, Louis. It's probably nothing.
Not to worry, Your Eminence. If he is innocent, then he has nothing to fear. Do you know why Monsieur Bonaparte was hanging around her room like that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that the dashing young soldier had become infatuated with a fragile young woman who looked a bit lost. But I don't think he got a very warm welcome.
Bonaparte and Adams? But they didn't even know each other, did they?
I couldn't say, Louis. But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Peru. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry. He's on the list of suspects.
That's true, actually. You had the other French soldier who was... Well, he literally beat her. So, I mean, that probably puts him at the top of the list. Okay, so it probably wasn't Cardinal Piaggi. Although he didn't give us an alibi. Right, we were told to search the guests' rooms. So I guess we'll start with that. Okay, that's not a room. Whose room's this?
Monsieur Johann van Volner.
Can we search his room? No. Okay. Interesting. Why can't we search his room? Maybe he locked it? Oh, here he is.
Good day, Monsieur de Richet.
Mr. Volner, are you looking for anything in particular? Next to Elizabeth's room?
No, nothing special.
I'd have thought this is not really the shortest way to get to your suite.
Yes, I wasn't really looking where I was going. I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Why would he look so suspicious? Why wouldn't he just say, oh yeah, I was checking out the artwork? That's a perfectly legitimate reason. Right, whose room is this? Oh jeez. It's not that bad. Oh. Okay, scratch that. This part of the floor is a bit more messy. You're gonna need some vanish on that carpet or you're never gonna get that out. If I were you, I'd start putting the carpet cleaner down right away or you're really gonna struggle to get that out. Okay, what's in here?
A chest with a half-circle pattern.
A crescent moon. Do you want to try and find the key, or... Okay, we'll see if we find the key, and then we'll come back. Right, let's use our sweet detective skills. I didn't even notice there's a dude here. Let's use our sweet detective skills, and then we'll see if we'll figure this out.
Has Sir finished with this room?
Do you know who could have made such a mess of this room?
Miss Adams, sir. We were given orders to leave the room as it was, so as not to rush her.
Did she have a fight with someone to get the room into this state?
Not that I know of, sir. Miss Adams would sometimes throw a tantrum, during which she would destroy anything that came to hand. Lord Mortimer told us not to enter the room.
Thanks for that information.
You are welcome, sir. Has Sir finished with this room?
That's really interesting. So Lord Mortimer told his servants, when she's having a fit, you know, don't enter her room, which I guess kind of makes sense in, oh, she's having a tantrum, you don't want the servants to get hurt. But on the flip side of it, she was also very mentally unwell, in the sense of, you know, she was very clearly suffering from like epileptic fits and stuff like that. So telling the servants, hey, don't enter the room when she could be potentially suffering from a medical emergency.
No, I haven't gone over everything.
Sir may take his time. When Sir would like to leave, Sir has only to tell me.
Also, it's one thing to destroy your room, but to then paint a lot of what I don't want to say I don't want to say satanic symbols because I don't think they are, but you get the idea. Right, let's inspect the body. Is that the Illuminati on her shoulder? Okay, I guess we'll work our way down.
I see no sign of bruising on the skull. The only clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture. She also has old scars around the neck, maybe mutilations.
Okay, well, there's blood coming out of both her nose and mouth.
She bled from the nose.
Do you want to use vigilance or science? Okay, let's use science.
There's signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising.
Okay, so it has the same effect.
What a strange smell.
I think you can actually see here a little bit where they've used a bump map for the blood, and it's just not quite high enough resolution. So you got a little bit of pixelation there. Etiquette or science? Well, I mean, we'll use this just because we're low on points.
Laudanum. Certain courtiers use it to get drunk. If taken in large quantities, it can provoke fits of madness.
Well, that would explain how she was reacting, because she was very hysterical. Okay, so she was consuming large amounts of alcohol that, if done in large quantities, makes you go a bit mad. Okay. Right, so that was the head, upper body, I guess.
I count no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax, with a lot of blood. On first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death.
Okay, we're going to have to use a royal jelly. We're going to struggle for points this chapter, I reckon, so we're going to have to be a little bit careful with what we do. So science or vigilance? Let's use science.
The wounds are clean and look like they've been inflicted by a sharp object. Some of the lacerations have damaged vital organs, the heart, the right lung, which is perforated. Most of them weren't given with much force. She might even have survived. But the stab in the heart, though not all that deep, sealed her fate.
So she suffered a quick succession of sharp stab wounds and then bled to death. Okay, I don't think we need to worry about the tattoos. Okay, let's try.
There are numerous marks on the body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. There are also a number of old scars.
I mean, I'm not an expert, but that looks like she was cutting herself. So she struggled, and she was drinking large amounts of alcohol. So maybe someone came to take advantage of her and it went wrong, which is what Capacci said about Napoleon. So we can analyse the scars, means of the scarring. Well, okay, it's free, so we might as well.
The scars are superficial and were made several years ago. She wasn't trying to take her own life. No wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna look at this. I don't think the symbol's that important. So that just leaves the legs.
No trace of blows on the legs.
Okay, I think that's all we need to look at on the body. So, she was drinking a lot of alcohol and she suffered a succession of sharp stab wounds. But there was resistance as well.
My dear Elizabeth, I'm writing to inform you of some unfortunate news. We won't be able to meet as planned on the first Sunday of May. I've been told that you're no better, and, unfortunately, your brothers and I are absolutely snowed under by the work required to govern this new country. Please excuse us. As soon as we can get free, even if it's just for a day, I promise we shall come and see you. Your loving father, John Adams. P.S. Don't hold it against your mother. She still isn't ready.
So she was brought here, and then her family said they weren't going to come visit. So maybe that put her in a... that could have easily sent someone into depression.
The clock stopped at 3:54. If it was smashed during the murder, then I've just established the time of the crime.
Okay, so around 4 in the morning.
Vials of laudanum. The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
So we're full of Devil's Thorn. What does Devil's Thorn do? I think that's the one that lets your next move be free. Okay, well remember that's there.
The blood spatter indicates that the murderer must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
Well, that incriminates the big French guy again. Okay, some more jelly. That's a nice plate. Gotta say that's a nice plate, right? Well, this is some kind of weird. What's that? The pentagram? The 5-pointed star?
A pentagram?
Oh yeah.
What the hell's been going on here?
Examine the symbol. What's the connection? Okay, let's remember what Mother said.
Many esoteric rituals are based on this shape. Could Elizabeth have been sacrificed during an occult ritual?
Well, maybe. Okay, let's take a royal jelly. Oh, we don't have logic, so we can't do it anyway. That's annoying.
A notebook, written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages. Not too easy to work out. It looks like a mixture of medieval Latin and Anglo-Norman. It is difficult to make sense of this jerky writing. I can make out some passages, though. He's coming. The demon is upon me. He's coming back to kill me. There she is. Death has come to finish me off. I've just run into her son. That was her last entry. What tortured writing.
Well, I'm guessing that refers to my mother and me. So she thinks my mother came to kill her.
A novel of the initiation of a young woman into polite society.
June 11th, 1791. My dear Elizabeth, your last letter gave me much cause for concern. Your words were so cold, as if emotions no longer matter to you. Father maintains that the secondary effects of your treatment still trouble you, but that they will soon subside. Should I believe him? I cling to the belief that we shall soon see each other again, at long last. Write soon. Your loving sister, Abigail. P.S. Don't forget to tell me what present you want.
So very clearly her sister did care for her. Ooh.
A pistol? Fairly new, I'd say. And judging by the weight of it, fairly light. A tribute engraved on the barrel. To the liberators of France. There's a few dried traces of blood on the grip. Difficult to know for sure how they got there. It's extremely well maintained. The barrel is perfectly clean. It isn't loaded, and there's no traces of gunshot residue. I'd conclude that it hasn't been used recently.
So the gun wasn't used because it's clean, but it was held by someone.
Right. That's like a fine owner.
And then it ended up on the floor.
3rd of November, 1791. My dear sister, the cancellation of our reunion hit me like a stab to the heart. Father told me it was for your well-being, but...
Okay, well, that's just another letter from the sister.
August 24th, 1792. Elizabeth, I am driven to despair and doubt there is any point in writing to you. I'm not even sure you'll receive my letters. Father controls my correspondence more and more. I am certain he filters our exchanges. Thankfully, one of the chambermaids is able to help me get my letters.
So my mother was meeting her father.
A piece of fabric. High quality at that. I'd say it's silk. Going by the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality wear. It's a travel dress. The silk has been lightly waxed to protect it from bad weather. And I know the very woman who came up with the idea, given all the traveling she does. My mother. God help us. Why did she come here in the first place? The material appears to have undergone abnormal wear and tear. She must have been scouring the countryside, and that doesn't look good.